These are the video notes for writing linear equations. Whenever you have a linear equation on a graph that'll look like a line, and you can use slope-intercept form to write that equation, and that is y is equal to m times x plus b, where m, that value is going to be the slope, and the slope is also the rate of change. Plus b, and the b value that's being added at the end, that is going to be the y-intercept. The y-intercept, you can also think of that as being like the zero term, or the starting point. Here you also have the formula for the slope of a line. That's the difference between the y values over the difference between the x values. And on a graph, that's your rise over your run. Let's look at the first example. We have a line. To find the equation for this line, we need the two pieces of information. We need the slope and we need the y-intercept. Let's first find the slope. I'm looking along this line for points where it intersects at whole numbers. So there's a point. Here's a point. And here's a point that works. And so I'm going to look between any of those 2 points to find the rise, which is how much it goes up or down, and the run, how much it goes left and right. The rise, in this case, is 3 units. The run is, you can count the squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. So my slope, or my m value, is rise over run, which is 3 over 5. And I also need to double check if this is going to be a positive or negative slope. So if I imagine that there's a person that starts on the left side of the line and they walk to the right, this person would be walking downhill, so it's going to be a negative slope. So let's make sure our slope is negative. The other piece of information we need is the y-intercept, our b value. The y-intercept is where the line touches the y-axis. That's right here. And that y value is 3. Putting it all together, y is equal to the slope, which is negative 3/5, times x, plus the b value, which is 3. Now let's look at the table. This is the table for a line, and for the slope, we're going to use our slope formula. So the slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 minus y1, that's the difference between two y values. It's the second y value, 900, minus the first y value, which is 600. x2 minus x1, that's the difference between the two x values over here. So x2 is the second x value, that's 4, minus the first x value, which is 2. 900 minus 600 is 300. 4 minus 2 is 2. So my slope is 300 divided by 2, or 300 over 2. That can be simplified to 150. Now I need the other piece of information, which is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the y value when x is 0. In this table, I don't have an x of 0, so I need to work backwards. The x values are going by 2, so if I go backwards, and go backwards here, so instead of from 600 to 900, that's adding 300 every time. So if I worked backwards and I subtracted 300, then I would get 600 minus 300 is 300. So my y value when x is 0 is 300. That's my b value. That's my y-intercept. So let's put this all together. My equation is y equals, my slope was 150, times x plus my 0 term, or my y-intercept, was 300. You can also think of this as it starts at 300 and then adds 150 every hour. Let's look at the last example, which is a word problem. And for now, I'm going to erase some of this just to make space. Coach Rocha is ordering shirts for the softball team. Each shirt costs $18, and the shipping costs for the order is $7.50. Write an equation that can be used to find C, the total cost, if N shirts are ordered. This is a problem where you have a fixed amount or a starting amount and then a rate of change. So we can use slope-intercept form again. So I want, our slope-intercept form is y is equal to m times x plus b. The only difference is, instead of y and x, it's asking you to find c, which is the total cost. So instead of y, I'll just replace that with c. And then instead of x shirts, it's asking you to use the variable n. So I'll use n shirts. So m times n here. Okay, so then I need to figure out the rate of change. The rate of change will be how much it is for each shirt. And I know that each shirt costs $18. So my rate of change value, or my slope value, is going to be 18. And then my 0 term, my y-intercept, is what the starting cost is, or what the fixed amount is. And that's going to be the cost for shipping, because that's what you have to pay no matter how many shirts you order. So my y-intercept value will be 750, or 7.5. There's my linear equation.